Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Thursday. Hi, hello, how the heck are you? Thanks so much for being with us for the next 3 hours and change here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. And, of course, in living color on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, and our Facebook page, WIBW News, where we stream our video live every day. However, wherever, whenever you're catching the program today, thanks so much for being part of the audience here for 580 Sports Talk. My name is Dan Lucero. I am back in the studio after spending yesterday at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City for the Big 12 Men's Basketball Media Day. Hope you all enjoyed the content. Hope you all enjoyed the interviews. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's program. And Brendan and Spencer sort of babysitting the show yesterday. Did a great job, of course. I'm back today. I got my hat. You can see if you're watching the YouTube stream, I am wearing the Big 12 branded hat that New Era provided all media attendees with. I went with the high crown snapback over the adjustable dad hat. Not really a big snapback guy. You guys know this. I like my caps fitted. It's just you can't really feel that there's nothing there in the back unless you are conscious of it, but it's just a hang up I have. It's just a weirdness I have that I like the on-field, the fitted caps. But do I like wearing this hat as a bit more than I dislike the fact that it's a snapback? Oh, you bet. I might wear it to the Sunflower Showdown on Saturday. Oh, Dan, who are you pulling for this week? Jayhawks or Wildcats? Which side are you on, Dan? You got to pick a side. My side is the Big 12 Conference. That's my side. So maybe I'll wear it as a bit to the booth on Saturday. But that is what you see me rocking today if you are watching the YouTube stream. Glad to be back. We'll have a rotating cast of characters today again here on 580 Sports Talk. I've got to duck out midway through the show. So Spencer Dupuis will be along in a bit. Brendan Wierzinski will be along today as well. We'll be all together for a bit. We'll start the 4 o'clock hour together. I've got to duck out after What Is Wrong With You. Brendan will be around from about 4 to 5:30. Spence will be in 4 to 6. We'll have some overtime as well before Thursday night football tonight. That's right. We got the start of week 8 of the NFL season tonight. Some Thursday night football. Who's playing? I'll tell you as soon as I look. Minnesota and the Chargers. That's who it is. It's the Vikings and the Chargers in Los Angeles. That's who's playing on Thursday night football tonight. We're going to have Westwood One's coverage of Thursday night football starting with pregame at 6:30. So before that, we have got our 580 Sports Talk overtime that we will bring you a little bit later on between 6 and 7. Between 6 and 6:30, really. So we are with you until then. We got plenty to talk about on this edition of the show. Lots of great guests. You're going to be hearing less of us and more of other people today, which sometimes we like to give you more of other people and less of us. We got 3 great guests lined up. Bottom of this 3 o'clock hour, Rick Peterson of TopSports.news for the local sports spotlight. Looking forward to chatting with Pistol about Shawnee County High School sports and Washburn Ichabod Athletics, as we do every Thursday. Mitch Holthus will join us, voice of the Chiefs, at 5:25, as he does throughout the Chiefs season. We'll get Mitch's reflections on that beatdown of the Raiders and a look ahead to Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. Of course, Mitch will be on the call. A 6 o'clock pregame, 7:15 kickoff on the Chiefs Radio Network. You'll be able to hear that game right here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. So Mitch joins us at 5:25. At the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour today, our good friend CJ Moore of The Athletic, the best college basketball writer in America, is going to join us. I ran into CJ at Big 12 Basketball Media Day yesterday. I said, CJ, you should come on talk some college hoops with us. And he said, that sounds like a good idea, in so many words. And so we'll get CJ's perspective because college basketball starts with exhibition games this week. KU and K-State both play exhibition games on Friday night. You can hear K-State's exhibition game against Mizzou from the Page Sports Arena in Columbia, Missouri. Friday night here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. Pre-game coverage at 8 o'clock and the tip-off at 9. I think that's for TV. I believe the game will be on the SEC network. So I think for TV, they moved the tip-off back. But a 9 o'clock tip, you'll be able to listen to it right here on your home for K-State, 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. That, of course, means we're moving high school football tomorrow night over to our sister station, Country 106.9, our Week 8 580 Preps Game of the Week. Hayden hosting Jeff West with a district title on the line, 7-0. Meets 6-1 at Hayden Field. Should be a really good game. You want to hear that one, it'll be over on Country 106.9 tomorrow night. So with that in mind, with basketball right around the corner, thought it would be a good time to have CJ in. We'll preview the college basketball season with CJ, bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll also hear from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes today, both of whom spoke at One Arrowhead Drive following practice. We'll hear from Mahomes this hour. We'll hear from Andy Reid in the 5 o'clock hour today. We'll also got some football/Chiefs topics to talk about. Who are the most important players in the Chiefs-Commanders matchup? I'll tell you who I think the most important players are. And plus, who's going to win the Super Bowl? What if I told you nobody's going to win the Super Bowl? Obviously, somebody has to win the Super Bowl. But it's a funny thing. You go down the list of would-be contenders, and it's easier almost to pick out the reasons why teams will not win the Super Bowl than it is to pick out the reasons why a team will win the Super Bowl. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to go down the list, division winners, 5+ wins, known Super Bowl contenders. And we're going to give you a reason. We're going to eliminate all of them. We're going to say, well, that team's not winning the Super Bowl. And we're going to tell you why that team is not going to win the Super Bowl. So we'll have some fun with that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Want to hear from you on the program today? Text line is open, 785-272-9429. That is 785-272-9429. You can also hop in the live chat on our YouTube stream. Join us on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, to watch the show every day. Some Sports Talk if you have yet to do so. And jump in the live chat. Say hello and interact, not just with your host, but with your fellow listeners as well. Mark's in the chat this afternoon. Good to see you, Mark, as always. Glad you're feeling better, and look forward to hearing from more of you in the chat as we go along here on 580 Sports Talk. The Chiefs and the Commanders on Monday night. We already know there will not be Jaden Daniels at quarterback for the Manders. He has been ruled out, or at least trending toward being ruled out. Not official until the game day designations come around. But the word from Washington camp is he's not going to play. So no Jaden Daniels. We do not get the marquee quarterback matchup we were anticipating. Instead, we get a chance at a Marcus Mariota revenge game. Remember last time Marcus Mariota started a game at Arrowhead Stadium? I bet you all wish you didn't. I remember that one. What I remember about that game, it was happening during a Washburn basketball doubleheader at Lee Arena. And so I'm calling the games with Jake LeBon. This is back in the day, obviously. This is pre-Mahomes era. And Jake and I are up in the broadcast booth, and we're calling the Washburn doubleheader. I don't remember who they're playing. It was an MIAA game because it was January. It was an MIAA doubleheader. And we had one of our laptops was up, and it had the game on. They were playing the Chiefs and the Titans were playing. It was on ABC, I'm pretty sure. ABC or ESPN. And I remember that every time I looked at the screen, because obviously job one is the game out in front of you. Every time I looked at the screen, something notable was happening. Travis Kelce was getting concussed. Derek Johnson was sacking Marcus Mariota only for the play to be blown dead because Marcus Mariota's forward progress had been ruled stopped. Still one of the dumbest calls I've ever seen in my life. I saw Mariota throw the touchdown pass to himself. And I hadn't been covering the Chiefs long. I wasn't born into it like so many of you are. It hasn't been an entire life's obsession like it is for so many of you throughout the kingdom who I know listen to this show. But I had been around the Chiefs long enough to know when Marcus Mariota threw a touchdown pass to himself, the Chiefs were going to win that game. That was the point at which, okay, yeah, it's not happening because this is the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs, man. Until further notice, this is just what it is for the Chiefs in the playoffs. This is just how it goes. I've been around for the loss to Andrew Luck and the Colts. When Andrew Luck recovered that fumble, scored that touchdown, everybody in the world knew what that meant for the Chiefs, and it was nothing good. Yeah, same feeling when Mariota threw that touchdown pass to himself. And obviously, since then, the tables have turned in a way that's very pleasant for all involved, except anybody else trying to get through the Chiefs in the AFC, I suppose. But yeah, that was the last time Marcus Mariota started a game at Arrowhead Stadium. So there's your storyline quarterback-wise. Just prepare yourself. You are going to see that replay a few times on Monday night. You're going to see it a few times. Anyway, obviously he's a pretty important character on Monday night because if he doesn't play well, Washington's not going to win. Like, he has to play well. I don't think a game managing performance, barring some unexpected difficulties for the Chiefs offense, is going to be good enough for the Commanders to get out of Arrowhead with an upset win. I think he's going to have to play really well. I think he's going to have to run the ball very efficiently and effectively. And I think he's going to have a bigger day through the air than you typically associate being possible with Marcus Mariota. So he's important, obviously, but it's not fun to talk about the guys who are obviously important. Let's talk about the guys who are maybe a little less obviously important in this game. I've identified two guys for the Chiefs that I think are pretty important to their success on Monday night. And the first of them is Kingsley Suamataia, who's had a nice season, seems to be getting better week over week for the Chiefs. Will he have his partner in crime at guard available for Monday night? At this point, we don't know. We can't say with 100% certainty because Trey Smith did not practice today. He was one of three Chiefs who was held out of practice by head coach Andy Reid, and you'll hear from him later on in the show. Reid holding him out of practice. And also Kareem Hunt held out of practice. Of course, Josh Simmons continues not to practice as he continues to be away from the team. But Trey Smith, back tightened up, dealing with some back spasms. That's no fun for anybody, especially not a big man, plays guard. So no guarantee at this point that he'll be in the lineup. And Kingsley Suamataia then becomes, should Smith not be available or not be at 100%, pretty important cog in the middle of that offensive line, because where the Commanders are really good, I think, is on the D line, particularly at defensive tackle. Deron Payne is one of the best players that nobody talks about. Like, he's not in the conversation with guys like Chris Jones or Dexter Lawrence, those real game wreckers at defensive tackle. Those guys that everybody knows you're in for a long day against. And for whatever reason, Deron Payne doesn't get into that national conversation. That's one of those like ball knower names. Like, if you know ball, you know Deron Payne is good. And he was exceptional against the Cowboys. That game got away from Washington, obviously. It got away from their defense. But it wasn't because Deron Payne was a non-factor. He played exceptionally well, particularly in the first half before that game did indeed get away from the Commanders a little bit. So he's good. Javon Kinlaw's not the player he used to be, but he's still a guy who can make some things happen on the interior. And no matter who you are, no matter what quarterback you're playing against, interior pressure will always bust the pipes of an offense. So the Chiefs have to make sure that they minimize that interior pressure. There are some good pass rushers on the edge for the Commanders, one fewer with the injury to Dorrance Armstrong. He's out for the rest of the season. Von Miller always plays well against the Chiefs. Always kind of, particularly since Mitchell Schwartz retired. Schwartz kind of had his number a little bit, but against everybody else, Von Miller's played pretty well against the Chiefs. He had a game-clinching play against them when he was with the Bills a couple years back. And obviously, even this Von Miller isn't the same as that Von Miller. But Von's a guy who has had a good track record of success against the Chiefs, and you got to be careful of him. He had some good games against Kansas City in the past. But The biggest concern for me as far as what Washington can do to put a stick in the bicycle spokes of this red-hot Chiefs offense, it would be that interior pass rush. And so whoever Kingsley Suamataia draws, whether it's Payne or whether it's Kinlaw, if Trey Smith doesn't go, it's going to be him one-on-one, because if Humphrey's going to help anybody, it's going to be Mike Caliendo on the right side in that scenario and not Kingsley on the left. So he's going to have his hands full. He's going to have a tough matchup. But I think Kingsley has shown that he's capable of handling his business against some tough matchups. So I think he's a really important Chief on Monday night. I think Drew Tranquil is a really important Chief on Monday night. When a backup quarterback plays, there are certain things, the offenses tend to get a little less explosive, because backups are backups for a reason, right? Typically. Backups are backups for a reason. They're not as maybe physically able. They maybe don't have the arm talent. It's not like they can't play at all. I mean, most backups in the league can play at least a little bit, but there's something about them that keeps them from being a starting quarterback. And as Marcus Mariota has sort of settled into the career backup phase of his career, one of those things about Mariota is that he is less willing to stand in the pocket, let a play develop, and let it rip down the field. Washington's really good at that when Jaden Daniels is healthy and when Terry McLaurin is healthy, which he hasn't been. But when you have a quarterback like Mariota who's not going to stand in the pocket, extend the play, and let it rip, the guy who becomes more important in the passing offense is what you call the safety valve. And the safety valve for Washington is Zach Ertz, the tight end. And he is trending, from what I'm hearing, towards maybe being back on the field on Monday. He's another one of the walking wounded for this Washington team. Big part of the reason why they've lost 3 in a row since their 3-1 start. But being able to get a handle on a tight end is going to be more important against Mariota than I think it might have been. And that's not to say that Ertz and Daniels don't have a chemistry either. But it feels like that particular role of being the safety valve, being the guy who makes the catch short and picks up yards after the catch, that role is going to be more important. And Drew Tranquil typically is going to be the guy the Chiefs want to get matched up in coverage against that kind of a target. So Tranquil's role defensively, I think, is pretty important going into Monday. As far as Washington goes, my favorite play, I got a lot of favorite players on their defense, actually. I got at least 3. I got 3 favorite players. Frankie Louvu, because he's a hell of a player. Another guy who ball knowers know. Frankie Louvu can really play. He was really good in Carolina. Nobody noticed because they were awful. And then he went to Washington, and Washington was good last year, and people started to notice. And then people really noticed him when he was flying over the line on every tush-push attempt in the NFC Championship game. That might be the thing Frankie Louvu for at this point, which is too bad because he's a really good player. But he's an exceptional player. You guys know how I feel as a longtime Seahawks fan about Bobby Wagner. He's one of my favorite NFL players of all time. No doubt first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's important, Wagner, because if he's on the field, the Chiefs have to do whatever they can to get him in coverage. Because Bobby's lost a step. Maybe a step and a half. Coming up and playing the run, really effective. Covering Travis Kelce, covering somebody out of the slot, covering a running back. Those are the situations you want to get Bobby Wagner into at this stage of his career. He's not Seattle Bobby Wagner anymore, where it didn't matter what you did to Bobby Wagner. He was going to find a way to make a play. You want to get Bobby Wagner into coverage. One way you do that, and the Chiefs have been willing to do this, play a lot of 2 tight end sets. Keep your 12 personnel on the field. See if you can't lure Washington into their base defense, and then just beat them over the head with middle and intermediate routes and make Bobby Wagner have to cover a little bit. So he's an important piece. The other guy I was winding up to talk about, Mikey Sanderstil, the cornerback, mostly plays in the slot, I think. More known, he's got slot size, so he's kind of a stereotypical slot defender. He's had a couple of picks this season, had one against the Chargers a couple of weeks ago. I really liked him coming out of Michigan. Tremendous leader for that national championship Michigan team, made a crucial interception in the national title game. He's sort of the playmaker in the secondary right now. That's a guy who you have to be really mindful of on the RPO game, the quick slants. him sneaking in, trying to make some plays, him making plays on the perimeter defensively. That's a guy you have to account for. So I think he's a really, really important player for Washington. And I think offensively, their most important piece is the running back, Bill Krosky-Merritt. We mentioned earlier in the week, he leads the NFL in rushing success rate. So the highest percentage of successful running plays, whether that's a third down conversion or keeping your team ahead of the sticks on first and second down, nobody's done it with a higher percentage of their carries than Krosky-Merritt. And if he's similarly successful, the Chiefs have done a really nice job limiting explosive running plays this season. But if Krosky-Merritt can be successful, if he can get Washington into some 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2 sort of situations, you take a lot of pressure off a backup quarterback. And I would not be surprised. Maybe I'd be a little surprised because it's Cliff Kingsbury. And you know what he wants to do is sling the rock. But I would be really surprised if they didn't come out with a game plan that was really focused on trying to make it as easy on Mariota as possible. And the way you do that, well, you leave the game in the hands of their running back a little bit. Who do you think the most important players on the field for Monday night? Let me know on the text line, 785-272-9429, or in the YouTube comments, 580 Sports Talk. We'll take a break. We'll come back with Andy Reid. Just getting started, or rather, Patrick Mahomes. We're going to play Mahomes next. That's coming up here on 580 Sports Talk. 3:31 on 580 Sports Talk. Rick Peterson of TopSports.news is going to join us in just a minute for the local sports spotlight. But right now, let's go to One Arrowhead Drive from earlier today. Here was Patrick Mahomes' weekly press conference.
You executed so well against the Raiders. What do you take with that and learn from it and try to bring it to the next?
Yeah, I mean, every game you can look at and you find things that you can be better at. For us, I think it's just going and looking at those plays where we didn't execute at the level that we wanted to. And we were able to cover that up with some other big plays in certain drives. But at the same time, you learn from the mistakes that you made throughout the game, and you see what you did well and then try to maximize that as well. And so it's a steady building process that we have to continue to get better.
What rest of it is it what Jalen's been able to do these past 2 games in place of Josh?
Yeah, he's done a great job. I mean, he's been ready. He comes to work every single day, true pro. He comes to work with the mentality of being ready for that next snap. And so he's done it all throughout training camp, and now he's done it in the regular season, and that's the reason that he's here.
It's been a couple of years since you guys, for lack of a better term, made it look so easy on offense. How much more entertaining is it? How much more fun is it when you feel like you guys can just kind of do whatever you want? Yeah,
I mean, I think just having success. You train so hard to go out there and have success on every drive, and whenever you're able to go out there and do that, man, it is something that you're happy about. But at the same time, you have to continue to get better and better. And in this league, defenses adjust and they challenge you to be even better. And so we'll continue to build. I feel like we still have a long ways to go, and we're just kind of hitting our stride. Let's continue to get better and better as the season goes on.
Patrick, you talked about how that post snap kind of on the play at the goal line, like you actually practice these things. How many of those plays do you actually have, like at your disposal, and are they important for like morale, to lighten the mood, to like get things fun?
I mean, I don't know if he ever said. I think Coach does do that. He kind of gives us some plays that we can work on and kind of keep the energy level high, because you're trying to execute it when you get a chance to run it in the game. But there's a lot of plays that we work on, especially throughout training camp and stuff like that. And then there's plays that come to us with every single week that they're new and that are innovative and are made for specific situations. You just don't know if that situation is going to happen this week or if it's going to happen at the end of the year. I mean, everybody talks about the Rose Bowl play that we had. That we worked on that from OTAs, and we didn't run it till the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that's just stuff you have to stay on the details, because you never know when that exact moment is going to come up.
I only had 5 snaps where you had Xavier, Rasheed, and Hollywood on the field at the same time. How much of it is not just those few opportunities where you're going to have all 3 out there, but now that you've got those guys coming in waves, so you've got 1 or 2 of every single down? Yeah,
I think it speaks to the room. I mean, that we have a lot of talented guys there, and so you never know where it's going to hit. And obviously, Rasheed's going to get a big amount of targets and receptions, with Xavier same way, and then Hollywood. But at the same time, Tyquan can hit a 30-yard completion at any moment. Juju can hit a 15, 20-yard completion at any moment. Rashad can hit a 20-yard completion at any moment. You don't know where it's going to come from. And so that's a luxury for us, is that you want to keep defenses guessing. And, I mean, all these guys are going to get a lot of catches, and they're going to have their moment, but they'll be ready to go whenever that moment comes.
This week you have Cliff Kingsbury again this week. What are some of your best memories from being recruited to Texas Tech and playing there?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the first people I would say that truly believed in me in playing the quarterback position. And so he gave me a ton of advice of refining me, but letting me still just be me, and play to my strengths. And so a great coach, a great person that I still stay in touch with, not as much this week, but throughout my career. And he helped me get to where I'm at today, because he didn't put me in a box and tell me I need to play quarterback this way. He let me just go out there and be myself and be the how I play the way that got me there. And I think that's something that's special about him as a coach.
You mentioned Rashard. Just how about the progress he's made in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, he's made a ton of progress, and he'll continue to get better and better. I mean, Coach Reid's offense is hard, especially for that running back position, because you have to do so many things as far as running, catching, blocking, all the different things. And he's been a sponge, man. He's been learning a ton, and whenever he gets his opportunities, he's making plays happen. And I think he's just another weapon in this offense, and he'll continue to get more and more snaps. And then he's done a great job in special teams as well, which I think gets lost in the fold of things, which is huge on our team.
Patrick, did you have people that want you feel like, I'm not asking for now, if you want to volunteer names, great, but did you feel that in the recruitment process?
I wouldn't say that, but I just always, you kind of hear that undertone of that talking of you can't play that way. Coach Kingsbury never ever forced me to be just a pocket passer or hold the ball a certain way. He just let me. He would obviously help with my footwork and stuff like that and going through progressions, but he would just let me play when it came to playing. He's like, once you get to the game, you got to go out there and just play your game. And same with Coach Reid and Nash. When I got here, it was they wanted to keep refining, but at the same time, they want me to go out there and just play the game the way it got me here. And so I've been blessed because you can go to some situations, and I've seen quarterbacks in other situations that their game gets kind of boxed in and they don't get to be the best version of themselves.
I know it's a long time ago when you got recruited, but we heard stories before that, like, Texas was wanting you maybe change positions and things like that. Were those things happening when you were in high school? Or
a little bit. Texas, I don't know if it was that bad. I mean, it was just more of I went to like one of those like recruiting days, junior day, sophomore day, whatever it was. And they told me they wanted me to. I went to walk to the quarterbacks, and they were like, we're actually bringing you here for the safeties. So that was kind of at the time I did play safety. It had a lot of picks, so I understood that, but I knew that I didn't like tackling people, so I knew that wasn't going to be for me. And then mostly most teams in colleges thought I was going to play baseball, and I think that was something that scared away a lot of colleges, just because my dad played and other guys were kind of getting recruited at quarterback position and then going and playing baseball. But I ended up sticking with football, and Texas Tech believed that I could play both in college and then end up choosing football at the end.
I know you're not playing the other quarterback, but this is a matchup a lot of people looked at when the schedule came out that Jaden Daniels was going to play, and he's not going to play this time. It's a little bit disappointed you're not going to both be out there doing this.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go up against the best of the best, and Jaden, with the way he played last year, man, he's in that category, and so he's a talented football player. I've watched play since he was at Arizona State, the LSU, and to now in the NFL, and Cliff speaks extremely highly of him as a person, and so I'm hoping he gets healthy sooner rather than later, but at the same time, and I know Marcus can play too. I mean, I've seen it firsthand at Arrowhead in the playoffs, and I've seen him play throughout my entire career and have a lot of successful games, including this year. And so we understand it's still going to be a great challenge going up against a great football team and a guy that's had a lot of success in the NFL.
So that was Patrick Mahomes, some of what he had to say earlier today at his media availability. We'll take a time out here at 580 Sports Talk. Come back with Rick Peterson at TopSports.news for the local sports spotlight here on 580 WIBW. We are joined on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline by the great Rick Peterson of TopSports.news for the local sports spotlight. We do it every Thursday at this time. Pistol covers Shawnee County High School sports and the Washburn Ichabods over at TopSports.news. TopSports.news. And he joins us now. And Pistol, some seasons already in the books. Man, how fast does time fly? There are a couple of fall seasons already in the books and some good showings at state events for some local athletes. We'll start with girls tennis, where Seaman snagged the runner-up honor in Class 5A, just shy of the dynasty that is Andover Tennis. And we consider how much they've dominated 5A in recent years. That second-place trophy, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of for Seaman.
No, definitely. And the Vikings moved up from third the year before. Their best player, Emma Sweeney, was a strong runner-up and is back next year. So they have a lot to feel good about.
Most certainly do. And Emma Sweeney in particular took a huge leap this season. Was good last year. This year became the kind of player who can maybe win a state championship before her career is over. What when you've covered that program and talked to folks within the Seaman program, what has accounted for their recent last couple of years state tournament success? What is it about this class that has given the program its upward trajectory?
Well, since they've joined the UKC, they've never lost that tournament, and they just kept making strides every year. Jamie Robinson's did a great job over there, and they just got some athletes, but they also got some tennis players. Coach Robinson tells me that Emma Sweeney just loves to play and is on the court all the time, and that kind of stuff pays off, and they're going to continue to be good.
Another good showing for Hayden as well. Not state gold at the very top for Hayden, but another good season for the Wildcats in tennis as well.
Given what they lost, a 3-time state champion, a 2-time state champion, they came back and had a very solid year, and again, they got some good players coming back. Lana Hall placed as a freshman. Sophia Wickman is only a sophomore, is a 2-time state medalist. So they'll build around those returners, and they'll continue to be a power in 4A.
Shifting gears with Rick Peterson of TopSports.news on the local sports spotlight here on 580 Sports Talk to state golf, which concluded on Tuesday. Hayden, again, did not bring home the big gold in Class 4A, first time in 3 years that was the case, but top 4 finish for a team, top 5 finish for Izzy Glotzbach. Another really nice season on the links for Hayden, and that program continues to be a force in 4A.
Yeah, it was good to see there too. Senior leaders, Izzy and Lauren Bourgeon, both multiple state placers, and finished their high school careers with good performances. And they knew, Coach Duncan knew that Hayden or the Wamego was loaded this year after Hayden had got them the previous 2 years. And Wamego showed that, led by 4-time individual state champion Addison Douglas.
And not too many winning 4 in a row in golf, because you only get, even though, and I love that they've expanded the tournament to a 2-day event. I think that's been a great thing for both boys and girls golf in the state. But it's 2 days. You might be the best player in the state, but you have a bad 2 days or you're not a great course fit. Somebody's going to get you. And so to win 4 in a row, that absolutely deserves special mention for Addison Douglas of Wamego. Seaman ended up finishing in a tie for 5th in 5A, with Elise Eckert finishing in a tie for 5th individually. Did that feel like a performance where Seaman maybe felt like they left something on the table a little bit out at Emporia?
Oh, I don't know. That's a really good class, and Andover is a really good program, but I think they felt like they could have shot better both at regionals and state. But like you said, hey, when it's that abbreviated of a thing, you just got 1 round at regionals and 2 rounds at state. So there's not a whole lot of time to correct any ills, but I still think they feel good about their performance. Elise Eckert won her 4th straight medal in 5A, and I think that's a very good achievement.
Most certainly. Rick Peterson, our guest here for the local sports spotlight on 580 Sports Talk, covers Shawnee County High School sports in the Washburn Ichabods at TopSports.news. Over to volleyball, where there will be sub-state tournaments on Saturday ahead of next week's state tournaments. And 4 teams from the county qualified, and not really a surprise that it was these 4. It was Silver Lake, Rossville, Washburn Rural, and Hayden. How should those teams feel about their chances to get through Saturday and get all the way to state?
Well, they're all at home. All 4, like you said, qualified to be at home, which is a big accomplishment. And I expect all 4 to have a really good shot of moving on. 3 of those teams made it to state. Well, actually, no. I mean, 2 of those teams, Hayden and Washburn Rural, made it to state last year. Silver Lake has just had a phenomenal year. 1 loss all year to a good Shawnee Heights 5A team. And I think they're the team to beat going in to sub-state and state. And then Rossville had a really good year last year, has picked up and is playing very well again, and I look for them to have a good Saturday as well.
Let's turn our attention to the Gridiron Friday night action. Our 580 Preps game of the week tomorrow night over on our sister station, Country 106.9. A battle for a district title in Class 3A between undefeated Hayden and 6-1 Jeff West. And Hayden, the team, of course, Pistol, that's had a tremendous run of regular season success. They like to find challenges. They go out, they schedule as tough as they can in the non-district because they know they can't control necessarily their district schedule. That's going to be whatever it's going to be. But here they get maybe a test that they might not have expected would be won back in week 1. Jeff West had won just 5 games the last 3 years. They're 6-1 under first-year head coach Jeff Schwinn this season.
Yeah, and that does definitely get your attention. I still think, Hayden's one of those teams that seems to get up for every game. And, we saw that against Holton. And I think they'll be ready to play. And I think Jeff West, their real hope is to try to stay in the game early and get the game into the second half and get the game in the fourth quarter, because Hayden has been very, very good in the first half.
Yeah, they just jump on teams and take those big leads early on and put the hammer down on both sides of the line with their running game in particular. And Jeff West has been a potent offense this season themselves. If they can score with Hayden early on, stay within arm's length or take a lead, and puts game pressure on Hayden in a way that they really haven't experienced much of this season. Other games in the area, Washburn Rural playing host to Manhattan. Rural lost their quarterback, John Hoytel, to injury in last week's loss at Junction City. How do the Junior Blues, Coach Steve Bueller, navigate forward if they're not going to have Hoytel for Friday or longer?
Well, and Johnny Hoytel is a really tough kid. I think he'll do everything he can to get back as quick as he can. And he is definitely a big part of that team. I thought he's had as good a senior year at quarterback as anybody in the county, a county that has a lot of really good quarterbacks. So I think the whole key is getting him back. And Gavin Van Til, I think, is capable. But, you like to have your senior back there, and I think that'll be the whole key.
A league championship on the line for Highland Park in what has been a star-crossed year for the Scots. They still have a league championship to play for tomorrow night when they go out to take on Washington, who to this point is undefeated in league play. Highland Park has 1 loss by forfeit in league play. Fascinating game. Highland Park is coming off of another functional bye. They had a forfeit win last week against a team that couldn't field a team. So they've had an extra week to prepare for a Washington team that scored as many as 82 points in a game this season. This feels like it could be a classic Meadowlark Conference shootout in the Kansas City area.
Yeah, this is as good a Washington team as I've seen in a long, long, long time. And I go all the way back to covering them and watching them for a long, long time. But they're very, very good, very, very explosive. It might come down to, Highland Park, if Highland Park can kind of cause some turnovers and cause some threes and outs and stop some drives. Because I don't think you want to get in a 60 to 50 game. Like you said, they've shown that they can score.
Rick Peterson is our guest, joining us for the local sports spotlight here on 580 Sports Talk. Let's wrap up with the Washburn Ichabods. We've been talking for a while, Pistol, about that football program just needing a break in year one under Zach Watkins, needing to catch a break. How about catching 8 breaks? That's how many turnovers they forced in their breakthrough win over Central Missouri last week. How much do you think that meant to the confidence, to the overall mood around this Washburn program as they approach the second half of their season?
Yeah, when I talked to Zach yesterday, he said exactly that. He's been pleased all year with their attitude, even when they were losing, with their attitude and their practice ethic and everything else. But yet everybody needs some validation and some reward, and that's what last week was. I'm not sure I've seen a game, definitely not a college game, where a team's could force 8 turnovers. And then they got a really good, solid performance on offense. Logan Madden in his first start had a good game. Kai Thomas looked a little bit like the Kai Thomas we remember at Topeka High, scoring receiving and rushing touchdowns, and he's starting to come around. And if he can give you another weapon, Logan Madden's coming on. They got a great receiver in Chase Allen Jackman. Who knows?
Looking forward to seeing how they come out against Fort Hays State tomorrow. Rick Peterson will have it all covered at TopSports.news, the indispensable daily source for information on Shawnee County High School sports and the Washburn Ichabods. He joins us every Thursday here on 580 Sports Talk for the local sports spotlight. Pistol, always a pleasure. We'll do it again next week.
Look forward to it.
That is Rick Peterson. We will take a timeout, come back, and wrap up this 3 o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk on this Thursday. Our thanks again to Rick Peterson, TopSports.news, for checking in for the local sports spotlight. One of 3 great guests we have lined up for you on this Thursday on 580 Sports Talk. CJ Moore, college basketball writer of The Athletic, joins us bottom of the next hour, talk college hoops. And Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Chiefs, will join us for our weekly chat coming up at 5:25. Mention the Washburn Ichabods. They're back at home at Yager Stadium on Saturday, taking on Fort Hays State. It's a 1 o'clock kick. You can catch the action over on our sister station, your home of the Ichabods, Country 106.9, 12:30 pregame coverage. Of course, that's Brendan Dworzinski on the call with Fletcher Terrell and Trenton Kraxner joining him. Tomorrow night over on Country 106.9, we got high school football, the 580 Preps game of the week. Shifting it over to Country 106.9 tomorrow night because of K-State men's basketball. Their exhibition against Mizzou will be carried here on 580 WIBW tomorrow night. So we got high school football over on Country 106.9, and I expect it to be a good one at Hayden Field. It's senior night, and there is a district title on the line. Unbeaten Hayden against 6-1 Jeff West. Both teams are 3-0 in district play entering tomorrow night's game. Myself, Greg Akagi, Spencer Dupuis on the broadcast. We'll have our pregame coverage starting at about 6:40 or so over there on Country 106.9, leading up to the kickoff at 7. That means that you'll be able to catch the 580 Preps Coaches Club tomorrow at about 5:30 here on 580 WIBW. We'll cut 580 Sports Talk short tomorrow and bring you the 580 Preps Coaches Club from about 5:30 until 6. So you can hear from all of the city's head coaches. And then at 6:40 on the pregame show over on Country 106.9, you'll hear from Bill Arnold of Hayden and Jeff Schwinn of Jeff West. Full weekend of football. Obviously, Chiefs are on Monday night. We've got an NFL triple header for you on Sunday. Eagles, Giants, Broncos, Cowboys, and whoever the Sunday night game is. I've already forgotten who the Sunday night game is. But we're gonna have the Sunday night game for you. We're picking up a college football game on Saturday night, Michigan versus Michigan State. You'll be able to hear that Saturday night here on 580 WIBW. We are bringing you all kinds of football. Sunday night game is Green Bay and Pittsburgh, Packers, Steelers. That'll be a good draw. So lots of football on the Sports Voice of Kansas and our sister stations throughout this weekend. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to tell you why every team won't win the Super Bowl. Plus, CJ Moore joins us. We got What Is Wrong With You as well. That's all coming up on 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk, hour number 2 on this Thursday. The gang's all here on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and in living color on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, and our Facebook page, WIBW News. I am Dan Lucero. Brendan Dworzinski is here. Spencer Dupuis is across the glass. I don't know what's going on with the camera in there. Makes everything look super fuzzy. Probably when I was on, it was an improvement over my normal visage. But the audio, I am told, is in good shape. So you can still check out the YouTube stream. Spencer might be a little choppy looking over there, but it's going to sound great. I can promise you that over on 580 Sports Talk on YouTube or WIBW News on Facebook. Great to have you guys in with me today. How do you like my hat? You like my hat?
Yeah. No. If only you could have gotten the gang.
I tried, man. I for real tried. I wanted to take, because I told Spencer this. They still had the stickers like on the bottom, like the retail stickers. Like any hats they were going to give, it was one hat per media member, and everything else was inventory. Like they weren't just being real free with giving out the merchandise, because you got to imagine there's a long line of people trying to get Big 12 conference branded merch.
Lord knows I am.
I would assume they're selling these at the the Big 12 championships and stuff like that.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna have to make it to the tournament this year.
Yeah, the Rally House, perhaps. We
don't take a night off.
No, we don't. And hey, good news for PL. Our guy PL.
He's back.
Doesn't have to rewrite the Big 12 anthem, because Phillips 66 has stayed on as the title sponsor until 2031 of the Big 12 men's basketball tournament. So he does not have to rewrite the line "Word to Phillips 66" or "Shout out to Phillips 66," whatever it is. Something about gas, and he says "Shout out to Phillips 66."
Thank God.
So yeah, he doesn't have to go into the lab and rewrite like something about a mortgage company or like a defense contractor, everything else, or crypto company, the people with money these days.
Right.
So, no, it will remain the Phillips 66 men's and women's Big 12 basketball championships. So that's good.
As God intended.
Yes, that's good news. And great news for PL. Doesn't have to get back in the studio anytime soon to rewrite that masterpiece. They did have some Big 12 eats, though. They had the championship nachos.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's something in there that's the color of every Big 12 team, including like purple onions and, like yellow cheese and red salsa.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Corn chips and what have you. So, it was good. It was a good event yesterday. Again, hope folks enjoyed all the content from Big 12 men's basketball media days. To continue to whet your appetite for hoops, CJ Moore of The Athletic is going to join us at the bottom of this hour. We'll get CJ's thoughts on what's happening in college hoops and what he's looking forward to as the season gets underway in earnest next week. Going to be exhibition play really this weekend. UCF played their exhibition at Duke Wednesday night, and they flew from North Carolina to Kansas City to be at Big 12 basketball media days.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to them. So yeah,
hope y'all used that airline credit card.
Just glad there were enough air traffic controllers to get them from point A to point B. The Jayhawks play at Louisville for their exhibition this weekend.
The Yum Center.
K-State is at Mizzou, the Page Sports Arena, for their exhibition. You'll be able to hear that right here on 580 WIBW. If you're you got a hankering for Catsketball, we'll have the call for you. Pregame at 8, tip-off at 9 from the K-State Sports Network from Learfield on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. That means high school football again tomorrow night moves over to Country 106.9. Hayden taking on Jeff West. As MPM points out in the YouTube comments, it's going to be a gross night for high school football tomorrow. So, Spencer, whatever. Man, you're not a homeowner. You probably don't have a pair of lawn mowing shoes, do you?
No, I do have boots though, like dirt work boots.
Okay.
I think I'm going to bring them with me to work tomorrow.
That's smart.
And
yeah.
Put them on before I head over.
I think that's the thing to do. One of those plastic ponchos, and you'll be all set to rock if you have to brave the elements on the sideline at Hayden Field.
T-shirt, shorts, gym shoes. Don't show the weather you're scared. It'll be able to tell like a dog, and it'll only make it worse.
I would be fine if we weren't going to Hayden. There wasn't a grass field. I would rock the sneakers.
A fair point.
Yeah.
You don't have lawn mowing shoes. Like, I got a pair of lawn mowing shoes.
See, here's the problem with my lawn mowing shoes. I would not be able to wear them because they are torn.
Oh, no.
The back.
Okay.
Once this season is officially over, once I know the grass is not, which probably after this weekend, they will meet a watery grave. And by watery grave, I mean the garbage can, which will have some rainwater.
Probably have some rainwater.
This is a random thought for tomorrow night. Wyatt Thompson's going to be well traveled tomorrow. If he's calling the game tomorrow night, it's going to be a late night in Columbia.
I don't know if he's going to go out or if they'll send
Smoller.
Well, I mean, Smoller does the in-stadium stuff at the Bill, so he'd have to come. Somebody's got to make the trip back. It's not like super far. Let's be honest. Columbia's what, hour and a half from here?
No, I was saying if the game starts at 9,
2.5,
get off the air
that
and
is
then
true.
be
it
on
is a
less
late
than
night.
12 hours later. Like that's got to be tough on his voice.
I wonder.
On the pipes. Got to rest the pipes, you know.
He does.
Tea and honey.
He does.
Yeah, Columbia's, I'd say 2.5 from right here.
2.5? Really?
Yeah. I'm about to find out. What is it? It's the Mizzou Arena.
It is the Mizzou Arena.
I think it's actually the Mizzou Arena.
It is the Mizzou Arena. I still call it the Page Sports Arena.
They renamed it to the Mizzou. We went over this last week.
Yes, because Page was the plagiarizer and did not deserve to be honored with her name on the arena.
In fact, I was underselling it from right where we sit right now in the Huntoon Hill Studios. It's 3 hours and 12 minutes to Mizzou Arena.
Man, why did I think it was an hour and a half?
2.5 to Lawrence.
Are you thinking of Warrensburg? Are you thinking of going to the multi?
Maybe. You can go to the multi.
I don't know, but that's a trip. If he's doing both games, shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got CJ Moore coming up. We got some What Is Wrong With You coming up this hour. But I wanted to start this 4 o'clock hour today. It's a little bit of a flip on our usual game that we like to play around here called Is It Good? Where we examine teams, things, players, and we ask if they're actually good.
Do I need theme music?
You don't need theme music for this. No, we don't need theme music for this. Because this is the inverse. This is the inverse of Is It Good?
Can we slow it down like the Fox injury remix?
Right.
Is that bad?
Solemn piano, Is It Good? This version of it is like it's Jay Sherman in The Critic, right? It stinks. It stinks. That's what this game is called. It stinks. It's lousy.
Mm-hmm.
There was a sports talk host. I cannot remember for the life of me the guy's name, but this is back in like early like primitive sports talk radio, so like the mid 90s. And this guy's whole thing was saying that things couldn't suck enough. And I don't remember who that was. Maybe it was Arnie Spandier, was the stinking genius. I genuinely don't remember.
Hosts don't have names like that anymore.
No, you don't. They're not a lot like JT the Brick anymore. You don't get you don't get the fabulous sports babe. Yeah, you don't. All you get is Dan, Brennan, and Spencer on 580 Sports Talk.
Man, JT the Brick has the squarest head you've ever seen.
Might have been how he got the name.
Probably was.
Anywho.
So, fittingly, he is also on Mad Dog Radio. You don't get Mad Dog anymore.
He used to do, I think, sideline for the Raiders or like studio for the Raiders.
I think he still does.
Maybe he still does.
I think he still does, yeah.
Anyway, so I've got the list of teams who are either current division leaders, have 5 or more wins, or if they don't fit either of those categories but are known Super Bowl contenders like the 4-2 Bills and the 4-3 Chiefs, we've included them in this discussion for the sake of having them in this discussion. And we're going to go down the list and tell you why each of these teams will not win the Super Bowl. And by the end of it, we'll have ruled everybody out, and they just should cancel the rest of the season and not even give out a Lombardi Trophy because all of these teams are bad, actually. That's the point that we're driving at.
I do like that you took the negative spin with this, because we very easily could have done give me a reason why each team is a contender, even one reason why they are and they aren't. You just went full hater here.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We're putting on the hater Gallagher hat here, and we're gonna say this is why these teams will not
player
win.
haters ball.
This is the player haters ball.
Hate.
Mark ass Mark, trick ass Mark. You corny.
What can I say about that quote that hasn't been said about Afghanistan?
When I tell you how I reacted to the line about Rosie O'Donnell in that sketch that I cannot repeat on the radio.
No.
We've essentially repeated the only parts of that sketch that you can repeat on the radio. No. Except for the part about now I'm going to go and put water in Buck Nasty's mama's dish. Good evening.
That whole show, the Chappelle show, for those uninitiated.
The uninitiated, yes.
every memorable sketch, you remember the first time you saw it.
Yes.
I was 10 when I saw the racial draft. And I think I remembered every line from it immediately.
Hey, oh, bong bong.
The Wu-Tang Clan.
The RZA. The Jizz. That was, gosh, what great television. It's too bad Dave Chappelle fell down a manhole 5 years ago. We've never heard him say a single thing since. Just a real shame.
I mean, at one point in time, we literally thought that happened.
Yeah, he felt it. Him and Kanye West disappeared down a mine shaft 5 years ago. And if they've said anything since, I can't hear it because they're far down in a mine shaft. Anyway, we got to get to this. We got to get to this. These teams are not going to win the Super Bowl, and we're going to tell you why. Let's start with the Chiefs. Why are the Chiefs not going to win the Super Bowl?
Because that would require defying all laws of sports probability, and that just doesn't happen.
4 straight Super Bowls, only ever been done once.
How'd that go?
Yeah, famously by a team who didn't win a single one of them. That's tough.
Yeah.
Chiefs are already, they played a ton of football with a veteran team.
Yep.
They played essentially an extra season of football the last really the Mahomes era. They have, veteran guys who, are they still going to be fresh in December and January? And here's the other part of this. This year, they feel like they're going to have to chase a little bit more strenuously a division title, a top seed, home field advantage, those things that they've just kind of won without breaking much of a sweat. What happens if they've got to sweat their way through December a little bit instead of rounding themselves into form and collecting what is just placed at their feet and then being at peak capacity for January and February? If they got to strain themselves a little bit in the second half of the season, is there enough left in the tank? I think that is a genuine question. A problem. That's a January problem. It's not so much an October, November, or December problem, but it's a January problem. But it is a potential pitfall ahead of the Chiefs.
I feel like they only have one in order to, if they want to be up top, maybe 1 to 2 losses that they can.
Yeah, they're about out of.
They have to go undefeated almost the rest of the season.
They are. They're pretty low on mulligans, and that can be a hard thing to do to maintain that. And then, because if they don't maintain that, then maybe they're sharper in January, but then they got to go on the road for a game, maybe 2.
I think you could argue as well that they are, especially defensively, they've really got to stay healthy. I mean, everyone's got to stay healthy to a degree, but I think defensively it's fine right now. But okay, what happens if Karlaftis goes down? Ooh.
Yeah. You lose a Chris Jones, or you lose a Trey McDuffie.
I mean, shoot, I don't think you even have to go as high up the ladder as the superstars. What if Noel Williams, amazing to say this, but what if he missed real time?
Yeah.
That means a lot of Shamari Connor. The last time we saw him getting major time, he was getting picked on by Trevor Lawrence.
So, what if Leo Chenal gets out? Leo Chenal's such a huge part of this team that nobody really talks about.
Yeah. So that would be the other thing, is just they really have to be healthy defensively.
We'll ping pong from conference to conference. So let's go to the defending champion, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are not going to win the Super Bowl because they are too inconsistent on offense. And Saquon Barkley appears mortal.
Yeah, they're prone to bozo mode offensively. Yeah. And I'm bad at fantasy football, but I told everyone this year, do not draft Saquon Barkley. History tells you dudes who run for 2,000 very likely are not going to do anything close to that again the next season.
It's wild to think that they really miss Mekhi Becton, but they really miss Mekhi Becton.
Because he would just eat defensive linemen. The larger man would eat the smaller man.
I think, too, their kryptonite, their favorite thing to do is starting to break down slowly. When I taught the tush push, they're converting it less than they've had the last few years.
That's interesting. If they're the superpower starting to erode a little bit.
Losing Becton hurts.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills are not going to win the Super Bowl because they can't stop anybody. There's not enough high-end talent on that defense to make the big stop in January.
Too many injuries on that defense.
And that's certainly part of the reason why that's the case.
I think you can use a similar answer we've used the last 3 other years as well. Too much is asked of Josh Allen. Khalil Shakir is a good player. James Cook is, I think, a very good running back. Keon Coleman stinks.
He's not good.
Dalton Kincaid is having his best season. He's also been banged up. Are you going to get that for a full year? Dawson Knox he's a guy. He's a jag. He's a good red zone weapon, but he's nothing between the 20s. Their offensive line is also good. I will give them credit for that. They have a very good offensive line. but I don't think they have the offensive firepower to make up in a playoff game for the fact that they can't stop anybody. I'll phrase it that way.
The Detroit Lions are not going to win the Super Bowl because
their defense is too injured.
They're very banged up, and I think their difference between best and worst this year has widened. I think like they're still really good, and at their best, they look almost as good as they did last year. But I think their floor has dropped considerably.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a really good point. And that's where I think you see the brain drain come in.
Yeah.
That's where they miss having the consistency at coordinator with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn that they had the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's what happens with front runners, too.
Yeah. The Indianapolis Colts are not going to win the Super Bowl because
Daniel Jones shows who he really is, and this is not who he really is.
Yeah, just not enough high end at quarterback for them. Their offense is really, really good. But when was the last time a team without the Colts don't have Jonathan Taylor right now is playing like the best running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
But who are their who are their game wreckers? Who are their dudes? They got some very good players.
I'll give you Warren. I think
he
Tyler
might be.
Warren.
He might be.
think Tyler Warren is that dude at tight end. Now I'll say I really like all their receivers, but they're all B to B plus guys. Like I like Michael Pittman a lot. I think he'd be like an elite number 2. He'd be plus guy. Alec Pierce is a B. Josh Downs is a B slot receiver. Those are good players to have. But yeah, you don't have a game on the line. It's 4th and 12. Who's it going to? I don't know that any of those guys you say, yes, they're getting it for us. I do like Warren, though. I think he is very, very good. Their line's better. To give you a different answer than quarterback, Lou Anarumo's got that defense cooking. It's stale in the postseason. Like, we've seen this movie.
Yeah.
That would be my defensive reason why. Just that he's a good coordinator, but he's running the same stuff.
The Los Angeles Rams are not going to win the Super Bowl because
Matt Stafford runs out of Toradol.
Yeah, I was going to say,
is he going to make it to the finish line?
They are not great in the secondary. They are good up front. That defensive line is nasty. Their linebacker core is Their offensive line has already been banged up this year. I love their offense overall. I love their defensive line, but that's another one where you're kind of you're getting better than you would expect out of a couple different key position groups. How long will that last?
Stafford's kept together by duct tape right now. You do wonder
and
how.
He's fine for now, but what if he takes a helmet to the back?
Look, he was very good in the red zone last week to Devontae Adams. When is Devontae Adams going to show his age?
Never.
Yeah, you asked the wrong guy that question.
Game is built to last.
The New England Patriots, 5-2, are not going to win the Super Bowl because they've been playing their entire schedule on rookie mode.
Yeah, their schedule is cake. They also just don't have enough bodies right now. They got the quarterback. Holy cow, they have the quarterback.
They've got the guy, but no doubt they're going to be a factor for a while. But
receivers are playing better. But I don't see a team with Kayshon Boutte as their number 1 receiver as a Super Bowl champion. And their defense needs some work.
The Green Bay Packers are not going to win the Super Bowl because they are way too schizophrenic on defense.
Yeah, they don't have corners. I don't know why Green Bay won't play its best corner in man coverage. I don't know why Carrington. He must be the worst practice player or a total tool because I can't explain why he doesn't play. Nate Hobbs has been awful. Linebackers are good. Pass rush is good. Safeties are good. Corners are bad. I mean, they are straight up bad. It's not like, they're okay. No, they stink. That's it.
The Denver Broncos, 5-2, leaders of the AFC West. They are not going to win the Super Bowl because Sean Payton knows Bo Nix isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
There's a reason they don't cut it loose until they're behind by 2 scores in the fourth quarter of games. And it works because teams get on their heels. It's not dissimilar. Honest to God, they feel like the Tebow era Broncos a little bit more baseline competence than Tebow from Bo Nix. But that's kind of how it feels. A team that's scared of their quarterback until they're not scared of their quarterback, and they make some things shake in the fourth quarter.
You can't score 33 points in a quarter every week.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, and that's why games like this are such a pain and why people will cite this game the rest of the year.
Well, why can't they be the fourth quarter Broncos all the time?
Well, no, I was going to say people are going to use it as a defensive Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. Oh, look what he did against the Giants. Okay, one time they set an NFL record, and that's supposed to tell me everything about him? Nah.
The Seattle Seahawks, 5-2 in a three-way tie atop the NFC West. They are the number one team in the league, according to DVOA. They are not going to win the Super Bowl. I think you know my answer, but you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I have been very impressed by Sam Darnold this year, but I mean, that's the obvious answer. I mean, you look at the track record. Last year, 2 biggest games of the season for Minnesota after a great season. He stunk. So I like Sam Darnold, but that's the worry until he proves otherwise.
I'm a little worried, not just Darnold. Their running game is too inconsistent,
That's
too
fair.
hot and cold. They're going to need that to take the heat off of Darnold. If they could really run it effectively, though, like, what if their defense is awesome? Because it might be.
It's
like
elite.
Awesome.
I think their defense or their division is also too stacked.
It is. It's going to be tough to get out of that division. I mean, there might be a really good team in that division that doesn't make the playoffs. We'll deal with one more of those teams in just a second. 2 more teams to go. The Pittsburgh Steelers lead the AFC North right now at 4-2. The Steelers will not win the Super Bowl because
they are built to win in the regular season. And look, Aaron Rodgers is playing better than I thought he would, and he's loose, and good for him. They're throwing the ball at an average depth of target of like 5 yards. They're just not built to push the ball in the postseason, which you have to be able to do.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah, great answer. The 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, they are 5-2. They are not going to win the Super Bowl because
Mike Shanahan doesn't win.
We've seen Kyle Shanahan's movies.
Or Kyle, not Mike.
They're also missing the 2 best players on their team.
Yeah,
out for the year.
No Fred Warner. That's an even better answer. Honestly.
Or Nick Bosa, elite pass rusher, best linebacker in football, both out for the year.
Remarkable that they're 5-2.
It is.
So there it is. That's your haters' guide to the top of the NFL standings. All those teams objectively off to very good starts. None of them are going to win the Super Bowl, and we just told you why. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with What Is Wrong With You. CJ Moore joins us in a bit to talk college basketball. This is 580 Sports Talk. It's What Is Wrong With You time on 580 Sports Talk. 2 new stories today competing to try and take down, be the daily champion, take down our current weekly champion, the McMess, the dispute in the state of Florida where a teen working at the McDonald's pulled the gun out from the back of the counter to break it up. And somebody ended up getting shot in the neck. That's our current champion, the McMess. My story today takes us to Baltimore County, Maryland. We meet Takai Allen, who was sitting with friends Monday night outside Kenwood High School, and he's eating a bag of chips after football practice. And about 20 minutes after he finished his bag of chips, a horde of police officers showed up with their guns drawn and told Allen and his friends to get on the ground. Allen said police told him an AI detector thought his bag of chips was a weapon. They made him get on his knees, put his hands behind his back, and cuffed him. Then they searched him, found nothing. Then they found the bag of chips on the floor. Apparently, the picture of him holding the Doritos bag as he put it in his pocket looked enough like a gun for the AI detection software run by a company called OmniAlert that the district uses to try to detect potential weapons by utilizing existing school cameras. It triggered and called the police. And the police wrestled this kid to the ground and cuffed him and all over a bag of chips. This is the technology, by the way, that's supposed to replace humans, take over the world. Give it all your money. This is a billion-dollar, multi-billion dollar industry that's going to change the world. And it can't get anything right. AI art, everything in AI art has 6 fingers, and like AI weapon detection gets a kid handcuffed for a bag of chips.
Yeah, I saw a TV commercial that had the unmistakable yellow hue to it that all AI images have now, because people got really into a Studio Ghibli generator a few months ago, and now all AI images have a weird yellow hue to them, including this commercial that I saw on local TV.
Yeah,
horrible. My story for today, let me go pull up my link here. Remember the woman with the bag that said bag of drugs, and she had drugs in it? Well, this guy, 76-year-old John Moss, thought he had solved the game. I'm going to say I don't have drugs when I do. Didn't quite work out. In Highlands County, Florida, sheriff's office deputies say they arrested John Moss on multiple charges of drug trafficking after searching his home. His house at 935 South Delaney Street, though, has a sign on the front that says, quote, absolutely no drugs allowed on the premises. Well, apparently someone didn't read the sign, because they found 31.5 ounces of cocaine, 36.1 grams of Oxycontin, 442 grams of marijuana, 17 grams of aprazolam, 5.6 grams of morphine, and 4.29 grams of methamphetamine. Also, a gun.
And 20 racks of cash.
Yeah.
Huh.
This man is 76. Go golf. Play with your grandkids.
Hey, you got to have hobbies.
Learn to make model ships.
His is pretending to be Scarface.
No drugs. Can't search here. No drugs.
I think that wins the week. That definitely wins today. I think we got to give it the nod, because that's a well-worn sign, too. Like, he's had that up for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely no drugs allowed on the premises.
They'll never expect it.
It's like when the fraternities at a university have signs all around that say, nobody under 21 drinks. It's Delta, Tau, Delta, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, guys.
Uh-huh.
That's our winner. That's our new winner. Absolutely no drugs allowed on the premises is our new winner on What Is Wrong With You. I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up my kiddo. We got CJ Moore coming up in just a bit. We've got Mitch Holthus coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. Brendan and Spencer have you the rest of the way on 580 Sports Talk.
CJ Moore of The Athletic hopping on the phone with us here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll have CJ on in just a second at CJ Moore Hoops on Twitter. And you can also find him on Blue Sky as well at, I believe his handle's at CJ Moore Hoops there too. We'll get his thoughts on Big 12 Basketball Media Day and everything else going on in Kansas City from this week. We've now got CJ on the line. Again, CJ's phenomenal work can be found over at The Athletic, at CJ Moore Hoops on Twitter. CJ, great to hear from you, man. First and most important question, have you rocked your complimentary Big 12 branded hat you got yesterday?
I did not accept that gift.
See, Dan walked in here today. He was like peacocking around wearing his. Are you not a hat guy?
I'm definitely not going to wear a Big 12 hat, no.
That is fair. That is definitely
He's
fair.
not bought by the conference.
No, I appreciate that. He's his own man. I appreciate that.
He's a great journalist because of it.
Well, CJ, again, we appreciate you taking some time for us today as we look back on Big 12 Media Day from yesterday. Let's start with our local teams, and let's start with KU. Obviously, all the hype around Darren Peterson, and from everybody who's been to practice, talked about the team, yourself included, I mean, it sounds like DP is the real deal here. So outside of how great can he be, what is your big question for KU as we approach now, their exhibition game tomorrow against Louisville, 11 days from tip-off? What's your big overarching question for this year's KU team?
I think it's just what are the transfers going to look like? I think that's where KU has really, really missed these last few years. And not on everybody, but haven't hit on at a rate that you have to hit at to be really, really good in this era. Like they've been, it's not like Kansas has been bad, but relative to other Kansas teams, they have been. So how good are the transfers? What kind of step does Flory take? And then also, what's Elmarco Jackson look like? I think he's a guy that kind of gets forgotten about. And he's one of those dudes that's been in the program that just always seem to, those are the type of players that always seem to get better year in and year out for Bill Self. And they haven't had those program guys these last few years. They've tried to go to the portal to fix what they need to fix. And sometimes it's the guys in your own program that can do the fixing.
One other newcomer, he was a late addition to the recruiting class. Everybody's talking about him now. It's Cole Rosario. Had a great end to his season at Overtime Elite. He's, we've read that he's bouncier than a lot of people thought. We know he can shoot the ball well. He's bought in as soon as he got on campus. What have you heard, CJ, about Cole Rosario and maybe Bill Self and the program's expectations for him as a freshman?
Yeah, I think he really fits how Bill wants to play. And he's just a Bill Self type player. Like he's simple. He shoots when he's open, straight line drives, doesn't try to do a lot of stuff that's outside of his game, plays really, really, really hard. And I think KU fans are going to enjoy watching him. I mean, like you said, he's got some hops. He's going to have some good dunks in transition. He runs the floor about as hard as any wing I've seen at the high school level, just watching his tape. That's what really stuck out to me. So, and then when I went to, saw practice this summer, watched some scrimmage this summer. He was really good that day too. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, which, isn't very common for a true freshman at Kansas. Obviously DP will be starting, but, I think they might be starting two true freshmen.
Is there anything in particular you're hoping to see or going to be keeping a keen eye out for when they take on Louisville tomorrow?
Can they make shots and can they guard? Louisville is going to be really, really good. That's a really good collection of talent. Obviously they haven't played together much. It's kind of a brand new team for Louisville as well. But they have one of the best teams on paper in the country. So I'm interested to see how KU is able to defend.
And no doubt Pat Kelsey can really coach, too. We're talking to CJ Moore of The Athletic, joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. We're within 2 weeks from the start of the college basketball season. CJ joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline this afternoon. I want to touch on K-State as well. I always find it funny at Media Day. K-State always goes first. KU always goes last. So we heard from Jerome Tang and the Wildcats pretty early in the day on Wednesday. And we talked on the show yesterday about Tang's quote, we have the best point guard, shooter, athlete, etc. in the country. But I do want to ask you about PJ Haggerty. We know how good he's been in his career. He was phenomenal last year. Is he the type of player that on his own, and hopefully there's other contributors on this roster, but is he the kind of player who's good enough on his own to carry this team into NCAA tournament contention?
I think that's probably a stretch. Like, he's really, really good. He was an All-American level guy last year. But that was in the American, and he's been really, really good in the American. Let's see what he can do in the Big 12. I know I think they're planning to play him at point guard. I don't think he's a true point guard, so that'll be a test to see what that looks like. But no, I mean, I think he's a really good player. I don't think he's good enough to just carry them to an NCAA tournament by himself. But they've got some other dudes that have done things, at other places. The Marcus Johnson, I believe, the young man from who played at Akron.
Mm-hmm.
He was a really, really good player there and was on a successful team. So, Nate Johnson, not Mark Johnson. They've got a Mark Johnson too, but it's Nate Johnson who was at, I believe it was Akron or Toledo. I don't know. I know he was in the MAC and he was pretty darn good.
Funny enough, I believe Marcus Johnson was also in the MAC at Bowling Green. So you were really close. It's close enough.
Yeah. Nate was at Akron. So anyway, they got some other guys. They've got a couple foreign kids that could be pretty good. Elias Rapacu, if I'm saying that right. He played for Alba Berlin, who plays in the EuroLeague. Like, he's played some high-level ball. They also have a kid from, I believe, Serbia, a shooter.
Yeah, Kostic
that I watched this summer, who can really, really shoot it, really score the ball. I'm not sure he can guard anybody, but, he's got a chance to be a decent Big 12 player. So they spent money. Like, it's not like they don't have dudes that cost something. So, like, they've got talent. I don't think it'll just be exclusively the PJ Haggerty show, but it's got to be more than just him for them to be like a tournament team.
Do you like the addition of Matt Driscoll to the coaching staff, former head coach at North Florida? This K-State team for several years now. I mean, shoot, you go back to the previous regime under Bruce Weber, slow, methodical, not a high-tempo team. Meanwhile, Driscoll, when he was with the Ospreys, they were running, per KenPom, if I'm remembering correctly, top 10 tempo team in the whole country this past year. I loved that addition. I think it's going to make this a much more fun team. Do you think that's going to be a notable addition for this program?
Yeah, I think it'll help. I know around the conference, people think highly of him, and like that addition got the attention of other coaches. He's also a guy that goes way back with Jerome Tang. So Jerome, they were together at Baylor in the early years of Scott Drew, and so he trusts them. I'm sure he'll be willing to give him responsibility. I mean, he left a head coaching job to take this spot on the staff. So yeah, I think it'll help, and I'm sure it'll change a little bit the way they play offensively, because like you said, his teams in North Florida really shot a ton of threes. They definitely leaned into trying to get shooting on this roster. So I'd expect probably a increase in 3-point rate and tempo for the Cats.
Got a few more questions for CJ Moore, who covers all things college hoops for The Athletic and does it better than anybody, joining us here on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline on 580 Sports Talk. Elsewhere around the Big 12, CJ, and coming out of Media Day, I'm not going to play the, who's going to get fired game, because that's kind of morbid and gross in a way. But I feel like K-State is one of those teams that, hey, we've seen what you can be. It's been a few years since you made the tournament. feels like it's almost tournament or bust this year. Are there any other teams around the league who it feels like they may need to make some kind of changes personnel-wise, roster-building-wise if they don't go to the tournament this year? I also think of Cincinnati as a team like that. I love Wes Miller, but that's a program that has a lot of pride, a lot of tradition. It's been a long time since they've been to the tournament. Any other teams that feel like tournament or bust to you this year?
Definitely Cincinnati is also one that spent. Probably a big year for Wes. Say, if we're talking hot seat now, right? Like that's
yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Wes Miller. I'd say Johnny Jones might be there at UCF, and you would think Bobby Hurley at Arizona State. Now he has an extremely young team, and I think I don't see any scenario where they make an NCAA. I mean, I shouldn't say any scenario. Every team's probably got a sliver of a chance, but I would be shocked if that roster makes an NCAA tournament. So he's one that you would also think, this will be how many years has he been at? I mean, he's been at freaking Arizona State forever now. He's made 3 NCAA tournaments, been there since 2015.
Ooh.
So, is that enough to keep your job? Hasn't been to the tournament since 2023, and that was a play-in year. So we'll see, but that's another one that I would think probably on the hot seat.
All right, 2 quick big-picture college basketball questions for you, CJ. It's becoming more and more common, certainly this year, and we already mentioned, KU's playing Louisville on Friday. K-State's going to play Mizzou. There's these scrimmages, these exhibitions going on all over the country. It's a preseason game, essentially. Our 2 local teams, they used to play multiple D2 schools. Now it's just one and one of these other exhibitions. Do you like the power versus power, big name versus big name exhibition games we're getting more and more of?
Absolutely. Got a story coming out tomorrow on The Athletic about it, why it's happening. But yeah, it's all like the slate this weekend. I wish it was like better televised, the we had a little bit better access to these games and it wasn't so hard to maybe find them, but the slate this weekend's terrific. Like it beats maybe any non-conference day of November or December. So except for maybe feast week. So yeah, it's awesome. I actually think, in talking to coaches, and this will be in my story, they should add to the preseason. Like there should be more preseason games. That's what the coaches want. It's an opportunity to make more money for the schools, and I don't see why not add a couple more onto the preseason schedule. And you don't have to play them, but if you want to, go ahead and play them. Like in the NBA, they can play up to 6, but they don't have to play any. So it's kind of to each their own type of deal. But I'd love to see more of them because they're really fun to actually get to see legit teams play legit teams instead of, just Emporia State or Washburn or, not to hate on the Ichabods or any of those schools, but those are going to be blowouts. So it's cool to actually, we're going to get to see KU against a legit opponent this weekend, get to see Missouri and K-State play each other and kind of figure out, or what are those teams going to be? So yeah, I'm all for it.
Generally speaking, I'm right there with you. I will just say selfishly, as the guy who does the play-by-play for Washburn, I like the occasional trip to Allen Fieldhouse for a game. I'll just say that once in a while, that's all I'm asking for. That's good enough for me. Last thing for you, real quick before we let you go, CJ. Your thoughts overall on the G League back to college storyline that has gained a lot of steam? I know Bill Self talked about it yesterday. Tom Izzo elsewhere talked about it. Lot of opinions, a lot of strong takes on this. Do you have any strong opinions on some G Leaguers being eligible to come back to college?
It's no different than going and getting a kid from overseas that has been playing professionally. And the coaches that are complaining about it, they should have spoke up probably a couple of years ago when these professional kids, I mean, this is really the first year, I guess, that a ton of these kids are coming from overseas to play professionally, but the coaches have created this by continuing to push and push and push the envelope. So I'm not surprised that it's happening. And I actually, I think basically the rule now is almost the way they should look at it is if a young man has not been in the NBA draft, been on that list, then he's eligible, and he's of age, then he's eligible to play college basketball. Like, you can basically go get anybody as long as they haven't been in the NBA draft.
I thought it was very telling when Bill Self said, I don't want to bash it too much because we might end up recruiting these kids. I thought that was very telling about where things are going. CJ Moore covers all things college hoops at The Athletic. Be on the lookout for that story about the exhibition games coming out tomorrow. We're super excited to read it. CJ, thanks so much for the time, man. We appreciate it, and enjoy the exhibitions this week.
All right, thanks, guys.
That is the great CJ Moore of The Athletic joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits Hotline. We have to get to a quick timeout. We'll pay some bills. Come on back, wrap up the hour of 580 Sports Talk after this. All right, either or, over under, real quick before we wrap up the hour, Spencer. Which team is more likely to outperform their preseason poll ranking? KU or K-State? KU picked 6th, K-State picked 9th.
I think K-State. Or KU.
I think KU too. I think KU is just... The best player on KU might be the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. If they were going to draft next year's class today, he'd go number 1 overall.
I can't. That's my thing is KU just, it's, this roster is asking to win the conference or come in 2nd or 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and we've seen Jerome, like, unfortunately, it's just, it could be, you don't want it to be, could be the same song and dance for Jerome Tang as we've seen the last couple of years, where you get in these guys, but it just doesn't all work together.
Yeah, I don't know. Haggerty's really good and has the ability to be great. I'm curious what Moby looks like with a bigger role and more experience. I like a number of the transfers. Nate Johnson, who CJ mentioned, I think is a fascinating player. Marcus Johnson is fascinating. That's the most unique body type in the sport. I mean, I think K-State is built to be a tournament team without question, but like, I think they could get to 5th in the league. And I mean, that's a no doubt tournament team. That's a top 6 seed. I think KU's got a chance to make a run for the tournament or for the conference title, excuse me. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll talk to Mitch Holthus. We've got our headlines. We'll hear from Andy Reid. It's all coming up after the news on 580 Sports Talk. go. It is the final hour of 580 Sports Talk coming your way here on 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and of course on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel as well. I'm Brendan Dworzinski on the other side of the glass. Joining me today, it is Spencer Dupuis on the world's worst webcam. Worst camera on earth. I don't know what happened to it today.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet on this computer is being iffy. I don't understand.
But
it's weird because the whole stream essentially goes through this computer, right? Like the audio and everything else is working. So I don't understand.
I like how the connection can be bad in one room, but not in the other. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. And at this point, I have just stopped asking questions. Meanwhile, I switched seats here in the studio, and the headphones stopped working. Let's see if the second pair will work. And no. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, they're working. We're good. I can actually hear Spencer now. I don't just have to guess what he's saying.
Can you hear out of one ear or two ears?
I can hear out of both.
Wow.
I'm locked in. I'm good.
That's a change.
I know. I'm set. Buddy, we're locked and loaded for this 5 o'clock hour of the show. Equipment works. We're only doing the finest for you guys today here on 580 Sports Talk. In this final hour of the show today, we are going to bring you our 580 Sports Talk headlines here in just a moment. You can probably guess what we are going to lead things off with from the world of sports today. Also, some NFL injury notes. Interesting note on a Kansas State Wildcat and some World Series thoughts as well. We'll get to all of that. We'll hear from Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, brought to you by Hy-Vee and Azura Credit Union. We'll get some Andy Reid audio, and then we will send you off to 580 Sports Talk overtime at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. We've got NFL tonight, Thursday Night Football, Chargers versus Vikings. That's going to be a good one. Major playoff implications in both the AFC and NFC in that one. So stay tuned all afternoon and evening long right here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. Want to hear from you as well. Your thoughts. Hit us up on the text line, 785-272-9429, or you can drop us a line on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. YouTube.com, search 580 Sports Talk. You know the drill. We're the first result. Click, subscribe, open the video. Boom, you're right there with us, hanging out in the comment section today. Lots of fine folks who have been watching along, texting along with the program today. Comment here from Bill regarding our conversations last hour about Big 12 Media Day when we talked to CJ Moore of The Athletic. Do appreciate CJ hanging out with us on the show. Bill says, I'm not sold on the Cats doing anything this year. Not going to get sucked into the hype like last year. We'll see how they start. I think that's entirely fair. And that is the big reason why I talked so much on yesterday's show about the quotes from Jerome Tang, that we were the best point guard, best athlete, best shooter, all of those things. It's a lot of hype. I think, and I'm putting my name on this right now, I think this K-State team is good enough to make it to the tournament. I will go as far as to say I think K-State is a tournament team this year. I will put that out there right now. I think they make it to the NCAA tournament.
Look, I'm with Bill.
And I get it.
Yeah, like
totally understand.
I don't like I'm not a Cats hater, that's for sure. I'm just a pessimist here at this point.
And I get it. Like after the way the last couple of years have gone, I totally understand. I do believe this year's team for K-State has better top-end talent than the last couple have. That's number one. Like, PJ Haggerty is that good. I don't know that he'll be as good as senior year Keontae Johnson and Marquise Noel, 2 third-team All-Americans, but I do believe he is a top-end kind of talent. I do think that is going to help. I also think the addition of Matt Driscoll, and I know I keep going to this, but I think adding him and playing faster, more three-point shots, more up and down, I do think that is going to help this K-State team. I do. So we'll see about it. We've got a text in here from the 785, in fact, that says if they don't make it to the tournament, is Jerome Tang on the hot seat?
Probably.
I would turn it a different way. I think Jerome Tang right now is on the hot seat.
I mean, I don't know, because they just gave him that big extension.
It's been a little bit since he got that, though.
It was last year.
They extended him last year?
Yeah, because he was going to take remember when he was in content with Arkansas, maybe, remember, it was they gave him an extension.
Okay, so, yeah, I guess it was last April. All right, so I was thinking of the 2023 extension that he got.
He got an extension, since I've worked here, he's gotten an extension.
Here's the thing, though. Here's what an extension does. An extension's a bill in college sports.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you can find someone to pay the bill, you can get out of anything. And, like, go ask Texas A&M. that Jimbo, 90 million or 78 million, whatever it was, Jimbo Fisher's buyout. And it got to a point where it's bad enough that those oil barons down in Texas said, okay, we're done. We're paying the bill. We're done with this meal. We're done with this sit down, this debacle. We're paying the bill. We're getting out of here. And you can buy your way out of anything if you find money in the right places. I think this is tournament or bust for the Jerome Tang era at K-State. And again, I like Jerome Tang. I want him to be around in Manhattan for a long time. I enjoy the guy. I think he has made the right moves, the addition of the talent, the addition of Matthew Driscoll, Bill Peterson as well on the coaching staff. I think they've made moves to be a tournament team. I hope they get there. If not, there are going to be some very uncomfortable conversations come March. Mark B in the YouTube comments, he says, I'm with Bill, whose comment we shared earlier. Cut me, I bleed purple, but I'm not sold until I see it. Tyler in the YouTube comments, who I believe is on the other side of the spectrum, a big KU fan. Keep expanding the field. Eventually, KSU will make it in. That's a program over the last couple of years that probably wishes we had a 76-team field.
Yep. Yeah, they were right there on the outside this past season.
That's probably fair to say. All right, let's get to our 580 Sports Talk headlines. Appreciate the comments. If you've got one, you got a text you want to send us, please send it in. We would love to hear from you before we are done at 6 o'clock. All right, let's get to our 580 Sports Talk headlines, and let's get to the biggest sports story in the world today. And we will go with the writing of David Purdum at ESPN, but this has been covered all over. Pablo Torre finds out. Shams Charania of ESPN. It's been all over the place. Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant Damon Jones have been arrested as part of wide-ranging investigations related to illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia. Yes, you read and heard all of that correctly. Backed by the mafia. That was announced by authorities on Thursday. Billups and Rozier have been placed on leave from their teams, according to the NBA.
This happened so early this morning.
Yes.
I got the ESPN notification at 7:37 that it had happened. So I can imagine it's a Trailblazers coach, Chauncey Billups.
Yep, head coach.
Where were they? Were they in Portland? Because
I imagine so.
That's like dark 30 hour that you're getting arrested.
I wish I didn't have total knowledge of this. It's not really a story. I was never in trouble with the FBI. I'd like to make that very clear. I know someone who was arrested by the FBI one time on a Friday morning. 5 a.m., they do not wait. When they are ready to arrest you, they are going to take you into custody.
Wait, somebody has been arrested by the FBI?
Yes. Again, I was never in trouble. I've got a clean sheet. I'll tell you off the air. His crimes are not radio appropriate. Okay. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When they're ready to arrest you, they're going to come arrest you.
Hit the door.
Yeah, they don't wait for business hours to start. So here is what happened with both of these. Well, let me read this as well. A total of 34 people were arrested as a result of a years-long investigation covering 11 states and involving tens of millions of dollars, according to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel. Law enforcement officials said that multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks, with Patel saying of the money involved that, quote, the fraud is mind-boggling. That is crazy. Now, this is not related to the scandal that involved several college basketball programs that we talked about over the summer. That is a different scenario that is not involved in these investigations. So this is these NBA-related and adjacent people, not the college basketball world, at least for now. So that is an important distinction. So here we go. Here's what happened with all of these people that were involved. Terry Rozier was arrested Thursday morning at a hotel in Orlando, Florida, and is accused of participating in an illegal sports betting scheme using insider NBA information. As part of the scheme, gamblers used non-public information to bet on at least 7 NBA games between March of 2023 and 2024, involving the Hornets, Magic, Blazers, Lakers, and Raptors. In 3 of those 7 games, players intentionally removed themselves from contests to benefit the gamblers' bets. The defendants, quote, had access to private information known by NBA players or coaches that would likely affect the outcome of games or player performances, and provided that information to other co-conspirators in exchange for a flat fee or a share of betting profits, according to the indictment. Patel went on to say, quote, let's not mince words. This is insider trading saga for the NBA. That's what this is. The U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York said it is one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States. I will say this about that particular quote. It's only been legal since, well, I guess since pre-COVID in some states, since 2022 here in Kansas, just over 3 years. That's not really like all that long. I was expecting one of the most brazen fraud cases in American history.
Yeah.
No, one of the most brazen in like the last 6 years. That doesn't have quite the same amount of punch. Anyway, that's beside the point. So that's what Terry Rozier is in trouble for. We knew he was being investigated months ago, but he was officially arrested earlier today. So Chauncey Billups, former NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons, longtime player from Colorado, currently the head coach of the Portland Trail. Well, was the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers anyway. Yeah. Not sure how long that'll go on. He was arrested in Oregon. There you go. And is charged in a separate indictment alleging a wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games that were backed by mafia families.
Jeez.
The defendants are accused of using technology to steal millions from victims in the New York area. Also, though Billups was not named in the sports betting indictment, the description of a co-conspirator who allegedly told a bettor the number of Portland Trail Blazers players that would miss a March 2023 game had a playing and coaching career that matches Chauncey Billups. Bad. All of this very bad. There's a report out there from, well, I shouldn't say a report, but it was included in all this information that came out today. They were using X-ray technology in poker tables to scan face-down cards. They had...
That is wild.
Like Batman contacts and glasses to read certain things that were marked on the cards. They had hidden cameras in the shoes with the decks. I mean, this is insane stuff. And again, these dudes are multi-millionaires. They were scamming for the love of the game. They did not need to do this. They did not. You may also be asking, well, what about the other guy you mentioned? Didn't you mention another person who was involved in this? Yes, I did. Former 11-year NBA player Damon Jones. He was also arrested today amid charges that he allegedly disclosed privileged injury information about a prominent, quote-unquote, basketball player to facilitate illegal sports gambling. And a source close to the situation indicates that prominent player was LeBron James. James has not been accused of any wrongdoing. So essentially, Jones had inside information about LeBron James's injury history, passed it along. LeBron ends up not playing opening night. Boom. There you go. He was one of 34 people arrested along with Billups and Rozier as part of this investigation. This is insane. All of it. All of it is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
That injury, by the way, for James, while he is out actively, goes back to February of 2023 when he would miss 3 straight games. Allegedly, Damon Jones added in a text, quote, get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight. Bet enough so D. Jones can eat too. Okay. This is all alleged. All alleged. They're going to get a fair trial. That is their rights under the U.S. Constitution. But if these alleged things are true, these guys are all so stupid, it is incomprehensible. Absolutely incomprehensible. Dude, this is nuts how widespread this is. And frankly, this is going to go deeper, right? Like there's no way that this is just, oh, well, these 3 guys are in trouble in the NBA, but that's it. No way. We have another text from the 75. To put this in perspective, don't forget about the player in Toronto that wasn't investigated by the FBI, who's been banned for life by the NBA. Yeah, Jonte Porter also factors in here. Like, this is a big deal. Mark B on YouTube asks, I presume these were mostly prop bets. I would assume many of them are. Like, Terry Rozier having a terrible game and then saying, ow, my foot hurts, I got to leave this game, so all of his unders hit. Yeah, that's all prop betting. This is so big and widespread, though. I would imagine there's more than just that. And again, that LeBron James story, it was bet on the Milwaukee Bucks spread in a game against the Lakers when they had privileged injury information about LeBron James. This is crazy. Everybody on the internet is making the same joke. Wow, more coming up next on this scandal involving sports gambling. And if you want to hear more, go to FanDuel and use code FBI investigation for $20 in free. Everybody is making the exact same joke about it. I've said it before. I will say it again. There is a difference between a gambling company sponsoring a broadcast or a show or whatever and NBA players rigging games. Those are different.
Very.
We're all smart enough. Well, I'm an idiot, but you know, we're all smart enough to be able to separate those things in our mind. I'm asking you guys. And I know you guys can do it. Spencer, I'm pretty sure, can think that way. Again, I'm an idiot, and I know that those are two separate things. This is insane, though. This is truly crazy. And again, I don't know anything, but I would imagine that this is going to go deeper than just these three guys. Yeah. Vance says this on YouTube. This is exactly it. Not gambling is the first thing athletes are told. Are their egos so big to think they can get away with it? Or they're idiots. Or they're just dumb.
Well, I'm pretty sure
and I don't like saying that about my fellow man, but some people are just dumb. And these guys come off like idiots.
November 1st, I think NCAA said that their athletes, I believe it's athletes, can gamble on pro events.
Yeah, which is...
I believe that starts November 1st.
November 1st, yeah. D1 approved it, and I don't remember who it was. Some athletic director, I believe, said, we need D2 and D3 to vote differently so this doesn't get approved. D2 and D3 both voted for it.
Yeah.
So that is going to happen. And here's the thing, too. Andrew adds on YouTube, and he's right about this. They can gamble on sports, just not on their own sport. And different leagues have different rules. Like the NFL is super open about it. You can't bet in team facilities. You can't bet on your own team. You can't bet on the NFL in general.
Which team facilities then go to your traveling?
Yeah, like team hotels.
You can't
team
travel.
plane.
You can't bet in the hotel the night before a game.
But like, okay, you're at home Tuesday night after practice. You got an NBA game on. You can throw some money on it from DraftKings. Sure, that's no problem. You don't. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like this isn't the Black Sox who are making $4.50 an hour, and then we're going to go work a shift at the cannery after the game. Like, that's not what this is. Terry Rozier has made unconscionable money in his life. Chauncey Billups has made unfathomable millions in his life. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely ridiculous to me. You want to get to a headline here for us today?
Yeah, I'll get you some practice and injury reports for the Chiefs, Commanders, and around the NFL here as it's the first day of practice before Chiefs and Commanders play Monday night. It's pushed back a day with Monday Night Football. For the Chiefs not practicing, obviously Josh Simmons, it appears that situation is going in a more positive direction. As Andy Reid stated in his press conference, we'll hear that in full later on in the hour. Kareem Hunt didn't practice today with a knee and ankle, and Trey Smith dealing with back spasms didn't practice. Jalen Watson was limited in practice with a back, but practicing fully was Charles Omenihu, Chris Rowland Wallace, Brashad Smith, Jawan Taylor, Jerry Tillery, and Xavier Worthy. For the Commanders, we already knew Jaden Daniels is out with a hamstring injury. He didn't practice. Guard Sam Cosmi is on the injury report with a back injury. He did not practice today. He just came back from a torn ACL this past weekend when they got blown out by the Cowboys. Few other players didn't practice due to rest. Zach Ertz, Jonathan Jones, Von Miller, Daron Payne, and Laramie Tunsil. But for the Commanders, big news, they get Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, full participants in practice. Terry dealing with the quad injury and Deebo dealing with the heel injury, and Bobby Wagner, full participant with a thumb injury. He's going to go no matter what. But trending toward a better situation for McLaurin and Samuels. Around the NFL, former Chief L'Jarius Sneed is headed to the IR for Tennessee.
What a bust that signing has been for them. Holy cow.
Vikings expected to activate Aaron Jones for Thursday Night Football tonight, and A.J. Brown out of practice for the second straight day in Philadelphia due to a hamstring issue.
All right, with that, we'll wrap up today's 580 Sports Talk headlines. The voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, he joins us next on 580 Sports Talk. Coming up shortly, we will be joined by Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Just trying to get him on the line here. Mitch's appearances on 580 Sports Talk are brought to you by Hy-Vee, your official tailgate headquarters for Kansas City Chiefs football, and by Azura Credit Union. Contact Crystal Rippey or Naseem Khan about the credit union advantage for your next home loan. Plenty to get to with Mitch today. We're going to hear from Leo Chanel during our chat with Mitchell G as well. Talked about a big win for Raiders week. Right? Nothing like Raider week, but then there's really nothing like smoking the Las Vegas, formerly Oakland, formerly Los Angeles Raiders, formerly Oakland again. Nothing like it. So we'll hear from Mitch, get his thoughts on that coming up in just a few moments. Spencer shared the injury report with us a moment ago, and other news and notes on the Kansas City Chiefs. We got a text from the 316 during the break. The change in tune from Reid on the Simmons situation has been very welcomed. I thought it was a sudden change too. And I agree. I mean, it did seem like Veach is handling it. We're not talking about it. Just a very kind of quick and sudden. And, we're not going to talk about this kind of thing until it very suddenly became, we are, it's doing better. Good communication. We're talking to him. All things are positive. So that's certainly a good place to be for the Kansas City Chiefs. And hopefully their left tackle, their star left tackle, will be back as soon as possible. But we will obviously just have to wait and see on that front for I was about to say Trey Smith. So for Josh Simmons. Again, we're trying to get Mitch Holthus on the line, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Once he is ready to go, we will bring you the longtime play-by-play broadcaster for Kansas City here on the show. It is a little bit of a bummer that Jaden Daniels is not going to play. I, growing up, was always in the camp of, I want to beat another team at full strength. I want to prove that our best is better than their best with everybody healthy, everybody ready to go. I have changed in that regard, not in the sense that I root for injuries or that I cheer them on, like, yeah, someone's hurt. Woo, awesome. I'm never going to be that guy. We all know that one guy who is like that, who roots for injuries. It's not a cool move at all. That being said, it would be nice to see Jaden Daniels out there because then you get, the current face of the league, possibly a future face of the league, a guy who has been a dynamo to start his career in Jaden Daniels. That being said, at the same time, it's a lot nicer not to face a guy like that. Jaden Daniels, no matter how much that team might be struggling in other departments, he is a whale of a football player, incredibly talented in so many different regards, and not having him out there is pretty devastating for Washington. Could they win? Sure, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday or Monday in this case. But look, it's just that's the business sometimes. Guys get hurt. Guys get banged up. It's why it's so hard to replicate success year after year. And, I want to see, I would love to see him continue to play incredible football and be great year after year after year after year. But this is why it's hard to win in this league because there are injuries and guys take steps back. And progression and improvement is not linear and all these different things. And I mean, Spencer, I'm sure for you, you're going to be covering the games. Now you don't have to worry, you might not have as much anxiety about the matchup itself, but I imagine it is frustrating to go into the year knowing we can do anything with this dude at quarterback. And then you haven't had him nearly as much as you would actually like to see him.
Yeah. I mean, I think personally for me, I'm gonna be a little less stressed when it comes to is he going to get hurt? Because a guy playing with a knee brace is not ideal. He was already playing with a knee brace, and I think that may have been part of the reason why his other leg got shifted the way it did, causing him to hurt his hamstring. So obviously it's tough to see him not go out there. But I mean, you got Marcus Mariota is a very capable quarterback. You don't want to see him play in a game any more than probably 5 times a season, but he's good for you 3 to 5 times in a season. And guess what? He has success previous against the Titans, or when he was with the Titans against the Chiefs. So I'm not too worried. Seems like Terry McLaurin, the way that he practiced today, that the media portion was out there running around, running routes at full speed. That tells me Terry McLaurin is back. And if Terry McLaurin's back, then that could change the way this whole thing goes, especially if Debo can deal with his heel this week and play as well. Be huge for them to get both those guys back.
Yeah, I mean, you get back superstar receiver, and I don't think Debo is a superstar anymore, but he's still a contributor. He's been better in Washington than I thought.
I think, well, the fact is they're using him correctly.
Yeah.
And they're not overusing him in the sense of, hey, we're going to run you out on jet sweeps. And like when he was in San Francisco, they ran him out there in the backfield.
Yeah.
And I think that part of Debo, that's over with. But I think the guy that can be a little shifty on a jet sweep end around, or a guy that you can run a post route with, or a guy that, can be a distractor for a Terry McLaurin or a Zach Ertz, that's what he's good for still. And he's making plays.
Mark B on YouTube says injuries are part of the game. So is the salary cap. The NFL wants and usually gets its parity. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely true. It always tries to drag you either up toward, well, now we have an odd number of games, but it used to be drag you up toward 8-8 if you stink, or if you're really good, tries to drag you back down to 8-8. And that's the business. That's why the Chiefs winning as much as they have, or even franchises that don't have a lot of Super Bowls recently, but win a lot. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, San Francisco. They've been to a couple Super Bowls. These teams win and win and win over and over and over again. San Francisco, not even as much as those other teams, because they had some lean years there. Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, all that. But, it's just, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about your team. Are you still thinking playoffs? Like right now, do you think this team makes it to the postseason?
Right now, no.
Is that mostly because of how much more difficult the East has become this year?
Yeah. I mean, I think if they beat the Cowboys, it'd be a big possibility. And I think obviously having your weapons back helps you. Like in my heart, I think there's a slight chance the Chiefs could be overlooking the Commanders a little bit, and they could come out and upset because there's not a lot of film out there on what Terry's doing this year. I mean, obviously you have last year, but if you're more distracted by Debo being back, and I think Debo is quoted as saying this today, that his heel is not an issue. It was kind of a nagging a little bit last week, so we made the correct call to take an extra week to get ready for this week. So I don't even think Debo's injury is going to be a question at all at this point today, or at this point for this week. So I think for the Commanders, everything's still in front of them, yet it's not looking good without Jaden Daniels.
We're going to get to a timeout here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll come on back. We'll see if we can grab Mitch, but one way or the other, we're going to hear from Andy Reid as well. That's coming up on the other side of this break on 580 Sports Talk.
Welcome back. 580 Sports Talk here. Youngest in command movement, Spencer Dupuis, taking you for the final 19 minutes. And then Brendan will have some overtime action for you as well. Andy Reid spoke at the podium earlier today, and we've got that audio coming up here. So unfortunately, not able to catch up with Chiefs. Voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, today. We'll catch up with him next week, but let's hear Andy Reid from earlier today at One Arrowhead Drive as they get ready to take on the Commanders Monday Night Football.
All right. As far as the injuries go, the guys who won't go today are Kareem Hunt, who has a bone bruise on his knee. He's going to be okay, but we're going to have him sit out today. And then Trey he's got low back spasms. And so we'll see if that it's getting better. We'll just see how it goes. And then Josh, and my update for you with Josh would just be, there's communication. I'm not going to get into all of it. Everything's positive. It's not a negative situation. So he's taking care of family. Other than that, look forward to the challenge of playing Washington, and we know they're a good football team. A veteran group of players that are good football players. And they've got a head coach that I consider right at the top of his profession at this time. He's as good as anybody, and Dan. And then he's got good coordinators there. So offensively, defensively, special teams, they've got explosive players. They've got good guys up front on both sides of the ball. And Mariota, we know, has come in here and won a game. So we get it, that he's a good football player, and we don't slight that at all. So with that, we've got a good week of preparation as we go forward here. So with that, time's yours.
Coach, you mentioned other head coaches, and this week the Pro Football Hall of Fame narrowed its finalist list of head coaches under consideration. One, were you surprised that Mike Holmgren did not get in last year? And two, what's your argument for or against Marty Schottenheimer?
Yeah, I was very surprised that Mike didn't get in last year. At the time, I've said this before, but at the time, I didn't think, when I was working for him, I didn't think anybody did it better than Coach Holmgren. And I still feel that way today after being a head coach and so on. So he had a great feel for the whole thing. And then as far as Marty Schottenheimer goes, I had the utmost respect for Marty. I think he's well deserving to be in the Hall of Fame too. He would go down not only as a great player, but also as a great coach. So a lot of success in his career in a couple different spots, and so and phenomenal guy on top of that. Yeah.
Just considering Trey's a little bit banged up, Mike Caliendo, and just your confidence in him.
Yeah, so we've always looked at Mike as a starter. I think all the guys do, coaches do. So everybody's got the confidence that when he comes in, you just pick up and go. And I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about him. I think I'm just speaking for the gang here.
Can you speak to the progress that Rashard Smith has made?
Yeah, he's done a nice job of picking it up. That position, you got to know the pass game, the run game, and then you have these protections that you've got to take care of. And they get a little crazy, the protections do, with all the different looks that defenses are throwing at you, and then also, as many protections as we have, different types of protections we have. And he's hung right in there and done a good job. We've been able to give him a little bit more each week in different roles. We're moving them all over the place. I wouldn't see that part changing. We're going to keep utilizing his talents, hard worker, all that. The intangible stuff's great. So.
out today. He's performing very well, especially in the short yardage situations. You knew he was the back to kind of try to do that. But overall, as a team, you performed well in short yardage situations. Just what's been the key to that success?
Coach Heck he sets that up, and I think the scheme is good, but I also think Kareem has a special feel for that, and Pop too. But Pop jumped in and he had one nice short yardage play too. So, but as far as the run game goes, Kareem he's always had a knack for that, and he's a load on top of that. He's a big kid. Strong.
Coach, I kind of like 5 snaps where you had Hollywood, Xavier, and Rasheed on the field at the same time. We talk so much about getting them on the field at the same time, but how much of it is also just the advantage of having those 3 guys in waves too?
Yeah, listen, they all contribute and contributed in that game. You've got Thornton who also stepped up over the last few weeks, and then Juju in the mix. So you got a load of guys here, and we try to keep them all going. So you can kind of throw fastballs out there the best way you can. And we weren't counting numbers of those 3 on the field at the same time, but I know when they were out there, it looked good.
Washington looks like they've been a little bit up and down on defense this year. What do they look like right now as you guys get ready to face them?
Yeah, that front, again, we've played against some crazy fronts here. So it's different than years past. This group is right there. I mean, that front is an explosive bunch. And their pass game, I mean, they're as good as anybody rushing the passer. So we'll have our work cut out for that. And then their linebacking crew is good. They've been banged up a little bit on the back end, but I think they're starting to get people back and kind of in place where they want them. So, yeah.
So is there anything you want to sort of build upon with Rasheed now that it's week 2 after seeing him through a game?
Yeah, so we set out to get them 40%, 40% or around that area. And it came out to 41%. So the way it worked out, he didn't play the fourth quarter, so and probably wanted to, but I think if you increase it from there, you keep it increasing. He came out feeling good, so that was a positive. Now he gets another week of practice under his belt, and I think he can keep his numbers going up.
Coach, with Omar Norman Lott going to injured reserve, 2-part question here. What's your comfort level with the interior of the defensive line? And secondly, is Mike Bannon an option to slide in there and play more snaps?
Yeah, so Mike does. He jumps in there, and I mean, he does now. He gets snaps in there. So, but he's an option for sure. He's a good football player. Yeah. I'm okay though. I'm good with where we're at. Although I thought Omar was coming on for sure. He's going to be a good football player after he gets this thing worked on. So,
Coach, it's kind of been a roller coaster with Juwan Taylor and the penalties and everything. You seem to have it. I know you guys were talking about it's got to change. It's got to turn it. It seemed to. Was there anything that in particular got him, locked in?
Yeah, I think it was just his mindset on things and making sure that he took care of business there. I think he's done a great job with it, and as far as win percentage goes. But take care of that business, and he's got something going right now.
Why? Eddie, you've spoken of this before, but it seems like Jalen Moore has a list to beat, and the continuity in your line is something you haven't really had that way for a little while. What's that done for you? It's probably self-evident, but what's that doing for you to be able to have that?
Sure. As long as those guys do well, it makes everybody's job a little bit easier. And I mean, none of it's easy, but listen, it helps everybody out. Other people benefit from the line doing well, from the quarterback, receivers, running backs, and right now they're holding their own in there for sure.
And we talked a lot about Patrick's sort of faith in that and the confidence he gets from it. Is it a little different coaching when you can count on it more the way you've been able to this season?
Yeah, I think every coach would say, that if the line's doing good, you're willing to call certain things or not call certain things. But yeah, for sure.
Last one, Sam. And I just wanted to clarify something on that. You said you had positive communication with Josh, but you guys are in the same spot as wait and see on any potential timeline.
It's been positive. You just taking care of business. So that's the main thing right here. When you deal with this, that's what you do. And he's been very good about communicating it.
That was head coach Andy Reid. His usual, Wednesday press conference turned to Thursday due to Monday night. They move everything back a week. Definitely a weird week for yours truly here as my favorite team's coming into Arrowhead Monday night, and I'll be there. So that makes it even weirder, I think, because I'll be covering the Chiefs as a media member of the Chiefs against the team in which I grew up loving. So that'll be interesting. But for the Chiefs, obviously, they are going to be ready to go. And it seems like Trey Smith improving with the back injury. And obviously Kareem Hunt came back and played, I believe, after he was dealing with that injury that he had to deal with. So for them, it's just seeing what the deal is with Josh Simmons, because Trey Smith might be there. He might not be there. That'll depend on how his back feels Monday night, I would presume. But it's going to be a tough on Kingsley Suamataia if he does indeed not play. But we'll wrap things up after this break with a final word here. This is 580 Sports Talk here on 580 WIBW. Back in a few.
My name is Heidi Dixon. Mom, Jackie Wolf, was the patient of interim hospice. I live in Texas, and after Mom got on hospice, when I came back to Texas, the interim was a huge lifeline for me in terms of information. Maria, the social worker, was a dream, going every other week, sharing a picture and what Mom was doing and what was she saying and what was she looking forward to. And she brought us right into the room with Mom. And she said when she was planning to go next, and as a hospice worker in Texas, I was asking our social workers, are we doing this? This is amazing. She was so engaged with Mom and so connected the dots for us. That was invaluable. Aside from Mom's increasing comfort with the pain management provided by hospice, the social work connection and support, those were the two most visible benefits that I continue to be exceedingly grateful for.
We care, we're there, interim health care.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-529-2856. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-529-2856 or biglou.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Grab your purple and white, pound the stone, and eat 'em up KSU. It is caught. Touchdown Kansas State. The Wildcats play here.
It is good!
Join us Saturday as the Wildcats head to Lawrence for the Sunflower Showdown against Kansas. Our coverage begins at 9 a.m. on your home for Kansas State Wildcat football.
FM 104.9, 580 AM, WIBW. WIBW, Topeka.
One more thing. In conclusion, we better wrap it up.
Final word time here on 580 Sports Talk with the youngest in command movement. Spencer Pui here with you for this final word. And it'll be interesting for me, blood pressure wise, I think, when it comes to being in the booth or being in the press box on Monday, not being able to show emotion either way, obviously covering the Chiefs, but being there as a lifelong fan of the Washington football franchise. And yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I do think Chiefs side of things here, maybe they pull out a trick play because the Commanders secondary has been known this year to get blown up, or like happened last weekend against the Cowboys, they had defensive backs run into each other. So this may be the time where the Chiefs pull out a trick play that can get Marshawn Lattimore to bite, because he has been not great on the back end defensively for the Commanders. 580 Sports Talk will be back from 3 until 6 tomorrow. The end of the 5 o'clock hour will be Coaches Club, but we'll have Matt Derrick to get us ready for Monday Night Football. We'll also have our picks contest where yours truly still in the lead. Hopefully I can have a better weekend this weekend than I did the last 2 weekends. But for Dan Lucero, Brendan Dorzinski, I am Spencer Pui saying so long. We'll talk to you tomorrow on another edition of 580 Sports Talk.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all.